Survivor with Miss Feels. Hope in despair.
Everyone has experienced some sort of atrocious pain in their lives. For Anthony, it has been a precarious journey. A troubling life-changing event occurred when he was just 10 years old, and for 43 years, he has lived with this disability. This is the Chronicle of a survivor, Anthony Igele.
Lately, I started taking foreign drugs. I started doing things on my own. Eating pain. You laugh, without no anything, the guy just hit me on my face and I fell. Give me free heads, take your money. When I say that weekend, there are some certain things I could not do anymore. Problem to another ministry. Like what it takes in the state, you attach it to the Ministry of Women's Affairs. That is not fair. If this thing continues, God just going to take my life.
Survivor with Miss Feels. Hope in despair.
My name is Anthony Igele Daniels. I was born April 11, 1972. By this next April, I'll be 53. I'm from Onwa West in Edo State. I was born in Lagos really in the early 70s. And I attended St. George's Primary School, Falomon, Lagos, between age of 3 till about 7, when my father was transferred from Lagos to Ibadan. Because actually my father was a civil servant, so we moved down to Ibadan. And we're at Ibadan where actually mom left. When she left, it was just myself and my younger brother. After she left, it was now done on my dad to see what he can do. So he actually took responsibility of 2 of us who were boys at a very tender age. He solely took care of us till when I was already in JSS 1 and my younger brother was in JSS 3 before he remarried. If we have to start talking about mother and son's relationship, I don't think I'll tell you that I'm proudly I have a relationship with my mom, because that mother relationship and son, I can't tell you, is tight. And if I may say this, and honest, if peradventure she passed away tomorrow, I don't think I'll shed tears. No, my brother is younger than me. I'm older than him with 3.5 years old. He left the shore of this country 2003. He passed away 2 years ago. But the autopsy report that came said he died of acute diabetes, which to me he never mentioned of. And I don't think that my father actually passed on as a result of him being a diabetic patient, and he died as a result of complication. He was like a normal child who was healthy and giving birth to, was running around, a happy child who thought probably he had a better future. And yes, this incident happened in 1982 when I was actually 10 years old. It happened that I had a kind of an injury in my ankle. So, like normally a child that does not have a mother, you won't get the best kind of care. So I think I was trying to hide the injury. So it got to a point I couldn't hide it anymore. The leg was already swollen up. So the first thing they would do was to take me to the nearest clinic. And the nearest clinic did what they could do. They gave me an injection. No normal thing, and they say you come back 2 days from the injection, you throw the injection. So in that process, to the first injection, and then there's some other injection that they said was antibiotics and all that. So we get to a point where we are still, where I was still under treatment, and there was because they gave me the injection through the normal, where they normally give you injection. I start saying that the hip was getting swollen. We went back to the hospital. They did what they did. and they asked me to go home, to come back the following day. The following day, get to a point that I couldn't stand anymore. I was crawling with my knee this time around. So they took me back there, but at that point I was admitted. When I was on admission, I think I was on admission in that hospital for 1 month, and then the leg keeps swollen. So they now transfer me to UCH Ibadan, University Teaching Hospital Ibadan, where they now assess me, and that is where I did my first operation. I think what they did was to actually cut the swollen part open, and the pus was drained out massively, according to what I was told after the surgery, because from the waist down, the 2 legs now was paralyzed. I couldn't use them anymore. So I was there for 3 years. The case was that they now came out with an history that I am suffering from osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis means disease of the bone marrow, meaning the bone marrow has been infected right now. So that has been what I've been battling with, because the spot that was giving injection was actually draining out pus naturally on its own till this day. Still draining out pus.
Survivor with misfeels. Hope in despair.
My illness is actually had an history, and the history can be broken into 2 parts. The first part was the early stages of my life, the early age. At that time, I think everything was getting normal. I was walking, but with aid of a cane. I suffered a broken knee and a broken hip. So, as a result, I was totally paralyzed. I couldn't do anything on my own. I couldn't stand. So I was now referred to a special clinic in Lagos where they now took charge. And things now started getting better when they placed me on some certain drugs.
If I give you just 2 combinations of drugs I use, is augmentin and dalacin. When we started, it was just 5,000. But today, a sachet of dalacin that comprises 14 tablets is about 42,000. That is just once, because I use this combination of 2 antibiotics. And what I did was, I was placed on it, I think about 4 years ago. I discovered that I wasn't making any improvement. And I called my friend to see if he can help me, because the one we were buying here was becoming too expensive for me. It got to a point I could not even afford to buy drugs. So on my birthday, my guy just called me from Spain. He said, "Tony, today's your birthday. What do you want me to do for you?" I said, "Man, for the past 3 months, I have not gotten my drugs." I said, "Wow." He said, "Then you want me to buy your drugs for you?" He said, "List them, come." I thought it was a joke. I listed the drugs as it is. I sent it to him. Within 3 weeks, I got it. I got Dalaxine, I got Augmentin, and I find that there's a difference between what we are taking here as Augmentin and what they are taking over there. A full packet of Dalaxine contains 30 tablets from Spain. I'm telling you, 30 tablets. What they have here as a full packet is 14 tablets. 30 from Spain, 14 here. That means there is a great rip-off. And that is how the improvement started in this field. Immediately I started taking foreign drugs. I started doing things on my own, magically, that I even never expected I could do. Then if I want to stand, I will call this young man here, please, can you stand me up so that I can feel my leg? He will come and lift me up and he will stand with me. But suddenly I start standing on my own, even strolling. That to show you that I am not indicting anything here, but I'm just telling you that this is what I take in Nigeria and this is what I take that comes from the foreign country, and I'm just only explaining the difference. So that is how it started, and I'll tell you, for close to 2 years right now, I've stopped taking anything Nigeria drugs, and I'll tell you again that I'm so blessed and lucky. Some of my good friends, they do bring my drugs.
My dad never took my education as a joke. Successfully, I went to primary school, though it was unusual primary school. It's a physically challenged primary school. Actually, that one actually helped me to finish my primary school. Then getting into secondary school, I went to another special secondary school in Benin here. And the name of the secondary school was Benin Technical College. I've come across a situation whereby somebody made me to regret ever being like this. Because as I was working, the person came in as a customer. Actually, I had from that. And as the noise was going on, he asked if you have a manager. The girl said yes. And immediately as I was coming, without no anything, the guy just hit my face and I fell. Then some of the guys who were around, who actually knew me, attacked the man. And me that was down was now begging for somebody that was being beaten. So by the time somebody finally helped me to stand on my feet, and already the man was already bleeding. I couldn't stand it. I was now shedding tears. The man now said, if he has known that I'm a physically challenged person, he wouldn't have. And that word physically challenged at that time, because at that point I actually know that people don't respect physically challenged people in this society. So I'll say I'm lucky to have a child who will be 19 in June. If actually government are doing their bidding, and according to what the law stipulates, the physically challenged people are not asking for 100% comfort or something, but it's something to actually give them the courage. Because there are some certain life conditions that you find yourself, you have to accept the reality. That is how it is. It's a condition you cannot change. So automatically, you just have to accept it the way it is. There's a place in Nigeria Constitution that creates a space for the people who are less privileged, and what the government is supposed to have done to actually ease access to place of transaction or place of business. In that aspect, I will tell you, government has not done well, and I think it was just the government of Buhari that actually signed the disability bill. And that disability bill stipulates that bank, they should have what they call RAF, or you want to visit an eatery, you can easily use your wheelchair to get in there. or you are going to a bank, a blind, a visually impaired person can usually use a cane to get access. Yes, that of the federal has been signed into law, but there's something that needs to have come after that signing of law of disability bill. Should have had what they call disability commission. Yes, the last government of Godwin Obaseki actually signed the disability bill. Signing the disability bill is not the problem. The disability bill will be there, but if you don't have a commission to actually exercise what the law has said, that means there's nothing. So what I mean is this: if we have the disability commission, the disability commission would have been able to check some certain things that disabled lack and make a recommendation to the government. And I will tell you some of those things that disabled lack. One, we lack proper education. Two, we lack proper healthcare. Employment, whereby you see the private sector, and I will even put it clear to the government, they are equally biased towards disability. So if those government commissions are in place, these are some certain things they can easily be doing for physically challenged. I'll tell you, because of those things are not in place, just imagine you are attaching a physically challenged problem to another ministry, like what it entails in Edo State. You attach it to the Ministry of Women's Affairs. That is not fair. They don't have quota for physically challenged. They should have quota for physically challenged. I think it should be mandatory that we should have quota.
The discrimination against physically challenged. You see a situation whereby a physically challenged person standing wants to board a taxi, and probably there are almost about 3 persons standing. He's the only physically challenged person. That taxi will come. We pick the normal 2 people. We will tell you, because you are using wheelchair or you are using clutches. He will tell you, my brother, I cannot help you. We'll leave you there. We also take special people who have God's mind to help you at that point. Because the physically challenged people, irrespective of how you see them, whether they are blind, they are deaf, they are paraplegic, or they are what we call mentally retarded, or they are physical, they equally go through health issues. Just like my case, I will tell you, I'm fighting 2 in 1. Naturally, you see me, I can't use my leg, but I'll also tell you I have internal problem as well. So if government can come in by subsidizing some of their drugs, like my own case, I'll tell you, my weekly drugs, money for drugs is not easy. I won't say it here, but I'll tell you, it's not easy. But you can give me 1 million, say take that 1 million within 5 months. You just go solely on drug without food. Government could do a lot. And 2, accommodation too, because when you go through Ring Road, you see most people who are physically challenged homeless. I'll tell you, not that those people who are homeless probably don't have money to afford rent, but the kind mindset some of these landlords have, they don't like to accommodate physically challenged people. They will tell you, I cannot bring a disabled into my house. I cannot take a blind man into my house. That's another challenge as well. So if government can make accommodation, which to me is in the law, whereby the law says accommodation and stipends should be made for people with physical disabilities and elderly, and shelter too is there. If they ask me, I'll tell you, give me free health, take your money. That's all I need. Because I'll tell you, right from the day I start going through what I'm going through, eating, you eat in pain. You laugh in pain. That is what bone disease is all about. So I'll tell you one thing, that I'm not regretting what I'm going through, because I've made up this mind that life is all about survival instinct.
Survivor with misfeels. Hope in despair.
I tell you, I love life. That is why I'm still living. That is why I'm fighting to live. I'll tell you that actually I have an ambition when I was very young, relatively very young, but at this stage, getting weaker. When I say that I'm weaker, there are some certain things I could not do anymore. So just like I said earlier on, you get to that point, you just feel, yes, what you now do some what they call reflection on yourself. You check where you were coming from, where you have been, and where you wish to be in future. I think I'll tell you, in my own, I'm in the middle. I'm in my early 50s. But I'll tell you, I've not had anything like the privilege of what the normal people will have told you they enjoy. And I'll give you one example. I've never had the joy of, say, I stand to hug my daughter, for example. Or should I say I have a joy of, say, I walked and I hold my spouse in hand. That's something you would have loved to do normally, but based on the circumstances you find yourself, you just accept it the way it is.
I was in a platform when Edo 24 was going on. So I represented the physically challenged people in that platform. So Arsenal Ighodalo was on board that day. They were throwing questions. So when I got to my own turn, I told him what I need to tell him. Then at the end of the day, because I had a wheelchair before, the wheelchair got broken down, but not as good as this one. So that says I have a request for you. So I said, okay, go ahead and make it. I said, I had a wheelchair, but right now as it is, I don't have a wheelchair. So that said, okay, do you have pen? Do you have pen there? I said, yes. He said, take this following number. Right there, somebody was saying, oh God, you are breaching protocol. He said, no. He said, this is a special person, I need to attend to him. That is how he took my number that day. Along the line, I even was thinking, oh, this is one of those kind of politicians that will just do things on air just to get one kind of popularity. 3 months after, I was shocked. I was given a personal call. 3 months after, I got a call. Somebody said, is this you, Tony? I said, yes. He said, this is a call from Dr. Aswell. That Dr. Aswell asked him to take details of the wheelchair I need. I said, I don't really need any specific wheelchair. All I need is just an electric wheelchair. He said, okay, you hear from us. A week after, this is how they delivered the wheelchair. Tear rubber. I was the one that assembled it together. Without us calling. Normally, some people will attach PDP or APC to. This is just how it was delivered. No anything attached to it.
It came to a point where I was saying,
if this thing continues, may God just could take my life, because I've never experienced such pain. You would take even so-called pain relief, it won't work. The pain will go when it decides to go. The pain may last a week or two. I'll just be in my room. But what I'm going through, nobody knows. So, if anybody is there just to cover the space, which to me, I'm always willing to accept any offer. I operate OPay. My account number is 91596 3340. No, 33403. And again, OPay account 91596 33403.
So what's your mantra?
Just to be happy and see everybody around me happy.
We survive as a survivor.
Survivor with Miss Feels. Hope in despair.